A loved one who passed away is trying to warn you. Archangel Michael says, open this message immediately before it is erased forever. A voice from the other side is calling your name. Right now, heaven is trying to get your attention. A loved one who passed away has been whispering into your spirit, and Archangel Michael is moving to bring this warning, this message, this divine alert directly into your heart. This is not just for your comfort. This is for your direction. This is a turning point. This is about something that must be known, something that can't be delayed. A voice from the other side is calling your name not just because they love you, but because they want to keep you from walking into something that could break you. If you are hearing this right now, do not dismiss it, do not delay, and do not scroll past like this is just another thing. Heaven is not playing with your heart, and neither should you. Take a moment, breathe, and comment, Amen, to affirm you are ready to receive this holy message. Your loved one who passed has not forgotten you. Their spirit, wrapped in God's light, still sees your path. They see where you're headed. They see the traps the enemy has placed in your tomorrow. They see the tears you hide from others. They see how you smile but feel empty. And they are crying out to heaven to do something before it's too late. That is why Archangel Michael, the mighty protector, the warrior of God, is stepping into your life right now. Because this moment, this message, is not ordinary. This is heaven's way of reaching into your story and protecting you before the storm even begins. Heaven does not wait for destruction to come before it warns. Heaven always sends signs, always sends people, always sends whispers through dreams or through moments like this. You are not crazy for feeling like something has been off lately. That heaviness on your chest, the way you keep waking up at certain hours, the way memories of your loved one come out of nowhere, it's not just grief. It's guidance. It's God trying to shift your steps before you walk into harm's way. Archangel Michael is God's sword and shield. When he speaks, heaven listens. And right now, he has been commanded to deliver a divine alert. A sacred interruption. This is not a message to scare you, but to prepare you. You are not alone, and you have not been forgotten. You have been chosen for protection, and this word is being sent to pull you back into the arms of God where safety and clarity can flood your heart. If this has already stirred something in you, if you can feel your heart pounding or tears trying to rise, pause for 1 second and gently tap like on this video so others who need this can feel the same warmth you're feeling right now. That loved one who crossed over is not trapped in the past. Their voice was never silenced by death. In fact, their spirit is alive in the presence of the Lord, and from that place, they are still watching over you. They are still whispering to the angels on your behalf. They are still praying that you wake up before something that can be avoided takes place. And now, God is answering those prayers through this very moment. The Holy Spirit is trying to draw your heart back to a place of surrender. Because the truth is, some of the pain and confusion you've been carrying wasn't meant to stay. Some of the people you've been trusting were never sent by God. Some of the doors you're about to walk through are not what they appear to be. That voice from the other side, carried now by the power of Archangel Michael, is here to pull you away from deception and point you back to your divine assignment. This is about more than comfort. This is about your calling. This is about the direction your soul is being pulled. You've been asking for peace, but ignoring the signs. You've been asking for breakthrough, but resisting the process. But God is so merciful that He will send messengers from both the seen and the unseen to wake you up. That's what this moment is. A wake-up call wrapped in love, in grace, in heavenly urgency. This warning isn't just about danger. It's also about delay. Because every time you trust someone who is not meant to be in your story, you delay the blessings God has been lining up. Every time you hold on to fear or ignore the spiritual tug in your heart, you postpone healing and breakthrough. But the God who created heaven and earth, the God who raised the dead, the God who parts seas and calms storms, is now stirring your spirit because He still has more for you. And He's willing to stop time just to make sure you hear this. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are not walking blind. Heaven sees you. The spirit of your loved one sees you. The angels have been dispatched to guide you, but you must open your heart and listen. That voice calling your name is real. That tug on your soul is holy. And this message is your moment to lean into it before it fades. Please comment 1111 if you believe your spirit is being stirred for a reason. Let heaven see that your heart is still listening. Could this hidden CIA brain ritual be the real reason people are suddenly rich? A secret CIA discovery has just leaked, revealing a brain hack that's pulling wealth into people's lives effortlessly. It only takes 7 seconds, it's done at home, and it's backed by 4 neuroscience labs. Debt is vanishing, luxury is becoming normal. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky, the page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. Do not let this warning slip past you. Do not treat this moment like it's random. It is not random. It is not accidental. It is heaven sent. Archangel Michael does not move without divine command. Your loved one does not reach out unless there is something worth reaching for. And the voice calling your name is doing so because there's still something inside you that heaven refuses to lose. You have been surrounded by divine protection even in your sleep. The accident that didn't happen, the emotional collapse that somehow passed, the danger that almost touched you but didn't, those weren't coincidences. Those were interventions. Those were the results of God's love and the persistent prayers of someone in heaven who still loves you fiercely. So breathe. You are not alone. The hand of God is holding you, and the host of heaven is moving on your behalf. And this is just the beginning. There is more to hear, more to feel, more to understand. Stay with this. Let your heart be open and your soul be still, because what comes next is even deeper. Heaven is not done speaking. Your loved one is not done reaching. And God is not done protecting. Archangel Michael is not only a heavenly warrior but a messenger of warning, a guardian assigned to protect those whose calling is under attack. You may not have known this, but there is a purpose on your life that the enemy has tried to bury through fear, distraction, heartbreak, and confusion. What you're going through is not just pain, it is resistance from darkness that knows what you carry. Your loved one sees the battle you've been facing, even the one inside your mind, and they have gone before God, pleading that you be awakened before you make a decision that could harm you. You have been on the edge of a breakthrough, but at the same time, on the edge of a breakdown. This is why this message had to reach you right now. The timing is not coincidence. You were meant to hear this today. The reason it feels like your name is being called is because it truly is. This is not just a message, it is a spiritual lifeline, an invitation to step back into the light before the darkness pulls you further. There are things ahead that you were not meant to face alone, and God has sent this word through Archangel Michael and the presence of your loved one so you would know He has not forgotten His promise to protect you. Sometimes, warnings don't sound like thunder. Sometimes, they sound like a quiet voice that pierces your heart and won't let go. That's what this is. You have been spiritually drifting, even if on the outside things look okay. You've smiled through pain, performed through exhaustion, and tried to survive through silence. But the kingdom of heaven is now intervening to call you home to a place of safety, a place of peace, a place where you will no longer have to carry your battles alone. You may have been ignoring certain signs. Maybe the same dream keeps returning, or someone you lost keeps appearing in your thoughts more than usual. You feel an ache you can't describe and a restlessness you can't explain. That's not confusion. That's your spirit trying to hear what your mind has been too tired to process. That is your warning wrapped in mercy. That is your message being delivered by heaven's most powerful guardian. That is Archangel Michael responding to the cries of a soul that loves you enough to fight for you, even from the other side. Please comment 222 if you trust that God is doing something behind the scenes for you right now. There is something happening in the spirit realm that is bigger than what your eyes can see. The enemy has been watching your life, waiting for the moment your faith slips far enough that he can step in. But Archangel Michael stands between you and that darkness. Because of the prayers of your loved one, because of the purpose God has placed on your life, heaven has issued an order: protect this soul. Wake them up. Remind them who they are. Remind them they are not alone. This is your reminder. This is your wake-up. You were not created to live in cycles of defeat. You were not born just to survive and hurt and lose. You were made in the image of God, and your life is still surrounded by glory even when you can't feel it. God has placed angels around you that you've never seen but have saved you more times than you know. That feeling of just barely making it wasn't luck. That was divine interference. That was Archangel Michael covering you when no one else knew how deeply you were breaking. Every tear you have cried has been caught in the palm of God. Every sleepless night has been held in His heart. Every silent prayer that you whispered when you were too tired to say anything out loud, He heard them all. And now, He is moving again. This time, not just to comfort but to change the direction you're walking. Your steps are too valuable to be wasted on the wrong road. Your heart is too important to be left in the hands of those who don't protect it. Your loved one knew the real you. They saw your kindness, your strength, your softness, your dreams, even the parts of yourself you hide from the world. They loved you in life, and they have not stopped loving you in spirit. That's why this warning is so urgent. Because they know you've been settling for less than what God planned for you. They see the ways you've started to forget your worth, and they are pleading with heaven to open your eyes before it's too late. This is not a word of fear. This is a word of mercy. You are still chosen. You are still favored. You are still covered by the blood of Jesus. The enemy may try to destroy you, but he cannot erase what God has declared over you. You are being given another chance to realign with your true purpose. You are being invited to return to the presence of God, to fall back into His arms where healing, guidance, and safety are waiting for you. Why is this 7-second brain ritual suddenly going viral? Leaked CIA files have exposed a hidden brainwave technique that opens the floodgates to wealth. Verified by 4 top labs, this ritual is turning financial pain into prosperity, fast. From massive bills to luxury trips, it's changing lives. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the link in description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to listen. You don't have to fix everything overnight. You just need to take the first step toward the light. God doesn't expect you to be perfect. He just wants you to be willing. Willing to trust Him again. Willing to let go of what is killing your peace. Willing to say yes to the pull you've been feeling deep in your soul. This is not a coincidence. What you're hearing right now is not random. This message has been covered in divine timing and guided by the voice of heaven to reach you exactly when you needed it most. Archangel Michael has come near because your heart is in a fragile place and your soul is on the edge of a spiritual shift. You've been walking with heavy burdens, and even though you've been trying to stay strong for everyone around you, something deep within has been breaking. God sees it. Heaven hears it. And now, heaven is answering. The voice calling your name is not a dream or imagination. It is sacred. It is the echo of love that refuses to be silenced by the grave. It is the sound of divine care calling you to wake up, to remember who you are, and to come back into alignment with God's covering. Your loved one who passed away isn't gone from your story. In God's eternal kingdom, they still have a voice. And that voice is warning you because they love you more deeply now than they ever could on earth. They see clearly now, and they've seen what's coming toward you. That's why this moment is so holy. You have been feeling a shift lately. Things that once comforted you don't anymore. People who were close to you have started to show signs that their spirit is not aligned with yours. You have noticed patterns repeating. You keep finding yourself back in the same place emotionally, spiritually, mentally. That's not failure. That's spiritual resistance. That's heaven shaking the ground under your feet, not to destroy you, but to wake you up from a slow drift into danger. When heaven sends a warning, it's not to punish, it's to protect. You were not made to carry this weight alone. That's why God sends His angels. That's why Archangel Michael is here. That's why a voice from the other side is calling your name. Because even if the world forgets you, heaven never will. Even if people misunderstand you, your Father in heaven knows exactly who you are and what you've been through. The spiritual war over your peace, your future, your mind, and your destiny has been intense lately, not because you're weak, but because your calling is strong. Please comment 333 to declare your faith and show that your heart is still open to God's voice. You are not where you are by accident. Every closed door, every painful goodbye, every night you cried alone has led to this moment where heaven is reaching for you again. God wants you to stop running from your own healing. Stop hiding behind distraction and denial. Stop pretending you're okay when your soul is starving for peace. There's no shame in being broken. God doesn't bless masks. He blesses honesty. He blesses surrender. And this moment is your invitation to finally let Him back in. That pain you've been carrying was never yours to carry forever. That confusion that keeps clouding your mind wasn't sent from God. That weariness you feel every time you try to take one more step is because your spirit is craving the presence of the One who made you. The presence that restores. The presence that guides. The presence that heals without asking you to be perfect first. Your loved one knew your heart. They knew the battles you fought quietly. They knew how hard you tried to be strong for everyone. But now, in the presence of God, they see your soul. They see what you need, and their love has only grown deeper. And that love has moved heaven. That love has stirred the angels. That love has brought Archangel Michael to guard you through the spiritual battle you didn't even know you were in. God has been protecting you from things you didn't see. That betrayal that hurt so deeply, He allowed it to show you their true heart. That missed opportunity you cried over, He closed it because something darker was hiding behind it. That relationship that fell apart, He pulled it away to make room for something holy. Sometimes God's protection feels like heartbreak, but later you'll understand it was the greatest mercy. And now, that mercy is showing up again. Not through thunder or lightning, but through this quiet moment, through this divine warning carried by a voice of love. It's asking you to open your eyes, to open your spirit, and to step into a place of obedience where God can move fully in your life again. You've been half in and half out. You've wanted peace, but held on to chaos. You've wanted light, but stayed connected to darkness. But God is not angry. He's patient. And He's reaching for you again because He still sees the gold in you. This is not about punishment. This is about positioning. God is repositioning you for protection, for provision, for purpose. But He needs your heart. Not the version of your heart that performs for others, but your real, tired, raw heart. The one that's been breaking in silence. The one that's been screaming for a sign. This is your sign. This is your turning point. This is heaven choosing to interrupt your routine because your future is too important to leave unguarded. You are not forgotten. Your tears are not wasted. Your prayers are not lost. Your journey is not over. The one who passed away and loved you deeply has not stopped loving you. And they are doing everything they can from heaven's side to remind you that you are not alone. God's hand is still on you. His plans for you have not been cancelled. You are still on heaven's schedule, even if you've taken some detours. Is it time you unlock the same CIA secret brain ritual changing lives in seconds? A new leak has revealed a powerful 7-second technique, developed under CIA-funded research and backed by neuroscience. It's helping people magnetize wealth like never before. From debt to luxury, faster than anyone believed. But this miracle won't stay public for long. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's deleted forever. Archangel Michael is not sent without purpose. When he moves, it is because the spiritual realm is shifting and someone on earth needs divine intervention. You are that someone. The enemy has been working hard to distract you, to pull you into relationships, habits, and patterns that weaken your spirit. But heaven sees beyond what your eyes can perceive. What may look harmless on the surface is often a trap waiting to open. This is why the voice from the other side is growing louder. Not in fear, but in love. Not to frighten, but to protect. They know how hard you've been trying to hold it all together. They see how much of yourself you've poured into people who couldn't return it. They know how tired your spirit has become from pretending to be okay. And they've seen the traps the enemy has been setting ahead of you. That's why this message is more than comfort, it's a rescue. It's a divine interruption before something breaks that you cannot repair on your own. Please comment 555 if you believe God is already working behind the scenes to deliver you from what you don't even see yet. There is no shame in needing rescue. There is no weakness in needing help. God never created you to carry your burdens alone. He never intended for you to live in spiritual isolation, struggling to find your way while feeling invisible to everyone around you. That's why He sends signs. That's why He sends His angels. And sometimes, that's why He allows the ones who have passed to be used as vessels of warning and love, because He knows your heart would listen if their voice was the one calling. You may have been surrounded by people, but still felt unseen. You've smiled in rooms filled with laughter, but your soul has remained quiet, aching for something real, something eternal. That ache has a name, it is your spirit longing for God's presence again. The distractions have gotten loud. The noise of life has drowned out the whisper of your soul. But God never stopped reaching for you. And now, with urgency wrapped in mercy, He is moving through the one you lost to pull you back to His light. That nudge you've been feeling in your spirit, that stirring when you think of them, that sudden wave of emotion that hits you when you hear certain words, that is not your imagination. That is the spiritual world speaking. That is your loved one reaching through God's grace to remind you that you are still worth saving. You are still a child of light. And the darkness that has tried to take you will not succeed, because heaven is fighting for you. You might not have seen it, but there have been close calls. There were moments when things could have gone much worse. Times you almost gave your heart to someone who would have destroyed it. Paths you almost walked down that would have drained the life out of your spirit. You were protected from those not because of luck, but because God heard the prayers being whispered on your behalf. He saw the tears in heaven of the one who loved you enough to ask for a warning to be sent. This message is that warning. This moment is that covering. You have come too far to stop now. You have grown through too much pain to go back into old patterns. The voice calling your name from the other side isn't just asking you to remember them. It's asking you to remember who you are. You are not your failures. You are not your shame. You are not the mistakes you made while trying to survive. You are the beloved of God, and His mercy is bigger than anything trying to pull you down. There is nothing in your life that is too broken for God to restore. There is no chapter He cannot rewrite. But you have to allow Him to guide you away from what is draining your strength. Archangel Michael is not just present to speak, he is present to shield. He is guarding the door to your future, waiting for your heart to say yes to the protection being offered. Heaven cannot force your surrender. It must be given freely. But right now, your name is being spoken in the courts of heaven, and this is your divine moment to respond. You don't have to understand everything to obey. You don't need all the answers before you begin again. You just need a willing heart. The same God who raised Lazarus from the grave, who parted the Red Sea, who calmed the storm with a word, is the same God who is holding you now, speaking through a voice you loved, and asking you to come back into His safety. Your journey is not too far gone. Your spirit is not too far lost. You have not messed up too badly. You are not too broken. You are still the one heaven chooses to protect. You are still covered by grace. And you are still being pulled into your purpose. But the time to respond is now. The danger of delay is real. The enemy is counting on your hesitation. He is hoping you'll ignore the signs. But the one you lost, the one who still watches over you in spirit, has cried out to God that you would not miss this chance. This is your chance. This is your holy interruption. This is your moment to choose the light again. Do not let fear win. Do not let silence drown out the call. Do not let the past hold you back from the healing that is being extended to you now. They are part of the host of heaven now, and through God's great mercy, their love for you has been given a voice that reaches past the veil to deliver a message your soul desperately needs. Do you know why everyone's whispering about this 7-second CIA ritual? A brainwave ritual leaked from the CIA is changing lives across the globe. Proven by neuroscience, this 7-second method helps regular people attract money, freedom, and luxury. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. You've been walking through things that others cannot see. You've been carrying wounds that others never ask about. You have mastered the art of appearing strong, even when every part of you is unraveling inside. But heaven has not been silent. God has seen what no one else has. The battle in your mind. The weight on your heart. The fear of what comes next. That's why this moment is sacred. It's not just a message. It's a divine lifeline, a holy interruption sent by God through the one who still loves you from beyond this world. And Archangel Michael is here because something has been coming toward your life that needs to be stopped before it ever reaches you. God always sends a warning before the storm. That's what this is. A chance to change direction. A moment to wake up before something breaks that was never meant to break. You have been feeling off balance for a reason. Your spirit has been restless for a reason. Because your soul recognizes that something is shifting around you. And your loved one, now covered in God's eternal light, has been fighting for this message to reach you before you walk into what looks harmless, but is actually dangerous. Please comment 1212 if you receive this message with faith and believe heaven is speaking into your situation. You have felt stuck in cycles lately. Like no matter how much you try to move forward, something invisible keeps pulling you back. That is not your imagination. That is not failure. That is spiritual interference. And right now, God is sending heaven's mightiest warrior to stand between you and everything trying to break your destiny. Archangel Michael does not come casually. He moves on command. And right now, his sword is drawn on your behalf. Not just because you are worthy, but because you are chosen. Your loved one who passed has been allowed to speak this warning into your life because their heart has not stopped caring for you. They see what your eyes can't. They see the enemy's strategies. They see the road ahead. And they are desperate to pull you back into the covering of God before a decision is made in confusion. This is why your spirit has felt unsettled. Why your sleep has been broken. Why certain memories and faces keep showing up out of nowhere. This is heaven's way of drawing your attention back to what matters before it's too late. You have not failed God. You have not ruined your chance. But you have been distant. You have drifted. You have started relying on your own strength again. And it's been exhausting. You don't need to pretend anymore. Heaven isn't looking for performance. God is looking for surrender. For honesty. For that sacred moment where you lay it all down and say, God, I can't do this without you anymore. That moment is now. That moment is holy. And your loved one, in the company of angels, is crying out for you to take it. The enemy would love nothing more than for you to ignore this. To think it's just another passing thought. But the truth is, this is your chance to come back under the divine shield of heaven. Your loved one sees how close you are to stepping into something that looks right, but isn't. They see the distraction wrapped in beauty. The temptation wrapped in comfort. The path that leads to loss disguised as something good. And they are not staying silent. You may not hear their voice out loud, but their love speaks in ways deeper than sound. It reaches into your dreams. It stirs your emotions unexpectedly. It brings you to tears you can't explain. That's not grief. That's guidance. That's spiritual connection wrapped in holy compassion. And it's not something to fear. It's something to cherish. Because you are being loved, covered, and pursued by both heaven and the ones who knew your soul while on earth. There are things in your life right now that need to be released. Some of the people you keep holding on to are not assigned to your journey anymore. Some of the habits you've returned to are slowly draining your peace. You've been trying to force what God has been trying to free you from. And your loved one sees it. They're trying to save you from heartbreak, from disappointment, from regret that you don't need to carry. But you have to listen. You have to let go. You have to make room for God to do what only He can do. Heaven is not late. This message is on time. This is your moment to step back under the wings of the Most High. There's still time to recover what you thought was lost. Still time to heal what feels too broken. Still time to walk away from what's draining you and walk into what God has prepared. But the time is now. The delay has already cost too much. The warning has come, and love is calling your name. You are not alone. You never were. Even when your room was silent, even when your hands were shaking, even when you felt no one could possibly understand what was happening inside you, God understood. And the one who loves you from the other side understood too. Their spirit has been weeping for your protection. And now, heaven is moving on their cry. Archangel Michael is moving with divine force. This is not a moment to ignore. This is a moment to return. The voice calling your name is a voice of love. A voice that never stopped caring. A voice that saw the battles you fought in silence. A voice that still sees your potential even when you feel empty. You are not your mistakes. You are not your confusion. You are not the pain you carry. You are still God's beloved. You are still worthy of protection. You are still surrounded by angels. You are still being called into a new beginning. Why is the government hiding this 7-second brain ritual from the public? A leaked CIA document just exposed a brain technique so powerful, it's helping people cancel debt and call in wealth within days. Validated by 4 top neuroscience labs, this method is changing everything. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the link in description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. The voice that's been calling to your heart is not here to stir grief but to bring peace and clarity. This is not a message to live in the past, but to rescue your future. You see, there's been a shift around your life recently. Something has been pulling at your soul. You've noticed that certain doors won't open no matter how hard you push, and others are swinging wide even though you feel unsure. That isn't random. That is heaven redirecting you. That is divine interference meant to pull you away from danger and place you on the path that your spirit was always meant to follow. But it's hard to see clearly when your heart is heavy. It's hard to hear God when your world feels loud with confusion, with responsibilities, with pain. That's why this voice is calling your name so firmly right now. That's why Archangel Michael is standing near. Because something is trying to break through in your life, a breakthrough, a shift, a moment of truth. And the enemy would love to keep you distracted, overwhelmed, numb, or too tired to respond. But heaven is not allowing that. Heaven is pushing back the darkness. Heaven is lifting the veil. Heaven is waking you up. Please comment 777 if you believe this message is meant for you and your spirit feels the truth of it. There is something sacred being rebuilt inside of you, even if it feels like everything is falling apart. God is not punishing you by allowing certain things to break down. He is purifying the space around your soul. He is making room for the life He planned for you long before you ever knew pain. And your loved one, yes, the one whose loss you've never fully spoken about, is standing in God's light, crying out for your heart to remain open, even when life feels like it's closing in. They see the truth of what's happening. They see the toxic relationships you've tried to heal, the people you've tried to save, the love you've tried to earn. They see your quiet suffering and your longing to be understood. And their heart, even now, wants nothing more than for you to come back to the center of peace, to let go of what is draining your soul, and to fall once again into the arms of the Father who will never misuse your love or abandon your needs. Archangel Michael is not standing beside you by accident. His presence is divine strategy. He is here to fight for you in the spirit, to pull down strongholds that you cannot see with your eyes, to block what the enemy has been plotting, and to usher you into a new level of spiritual awakening that will restore everything the enemy tried to destroy. But for this to happen, you must let go of what God never asked you to carry. You've spent too long surviving in places where your soul was starving. Too long dimming your light so others could shine. Too long giving your best to people who only drained you. But your loved one sees now what they couldn't always express before. And from their place in eternity, they are pleading with heaven to awaken your heart to your worth. They want you to see yourself the way God sees you, precious, chosen, protected, anointed, and full of untapped strength. They remember your laugh. They remember your kindness. They remember the softness you gave to the world. And they ache now, not because they're in pain, but because they want you to live again. To breathe deeply again. To trust again. To love without fear. To stop surviving and start receiving. Because you are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not too late for God's plan. This warning is not a burden. It is a blessing. It is God's way of pulling you back into divine alignment. You may have lost your way, but you never lost your place in His heart. The angels have been surrounding you even in your silence. Your loved one has been praying over you with a love that goes beyond human understanding. And now, the doors of heaven are opening again to let this truth rush in. Do not ignore the stirrings in your heart. Do not dismiss the tears that come unexpectedly. Those are sacred. That is the Holy Spirit moving through you. That is the wind of change beginning to blow. That is heaven pouring comfort into your cracks and filling you with strength you forgot you had. Even if it feels like no one understands, God understands. Even if no one has seen your pain, God has seen every silent struggle. And the voice from the other side is crying out in love, not just for your safety, but for your healing, your joy, your future. It's not too late. Not even close. You're not too far gone. You're not too broken. You're not too late to see what God wants to do in your life. You still have time to turn, to listen, to surrender. And when you do, you will feel the peace flood your spirit, because you will know that you are right where heaven wants you to be. Let go of the shame. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the fear that keeps you stuck. Step into this moment. Embrace this divine pause. Hear the voice of love calling your name and know, deep in your bones, that heaven is not through with you. You've been trying to move forward, but you've felt stuck. You've prayed but wondered if anyone was really listening. You've been surrounded by people and still felt utterly alone. That's because your soul has been calling out for something eternal, something unshakable, something that cannot be found in this world. That something is the presence of God. That presence is being poured over your life right now. And through the prayers of the one you lost, you are being reminded that God is not far. He is right here, reaching for you. Can 7 seconds really change your bank account overnight? A CIA-funded study just leaked, revealing a brain ritual that's flipping lives from broke to blessed. 4 neuroscience labs confirm it activates powerful wealth attraction brainwaves. People are now stepping into dream homes and luxury lifestyles. But this breakthrough won't stay online for long. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's deleted forever. The spiritual warfare around you has been intense, and maybe you haven't fully understood why. The enemy sees what you carry. He knows the potential inside you. He knows the calling over your life. And he's been trying to exhaust you so you'll give up before you ever step into the fullness of what God has promised. But God is faithful. And the one who loved you in life and still loves you now is crying out to heaven, asking that your steps be guarded, that your heart be healed, and that your eyes be opened before you settle for a life less than what God has destined. Please comment 999 if you know this word is meant for you and your spirit feels the touch of heaven on it. This isn't just a message to inspire you. This is a spiritual lifeline meant to redirect you before you make a choice that could damage your destiny. There are things happening around you, things forming in the spirit, that you haven't seen clearly because your heart has been clouded by pain, by fear, by confusion. But God is lifting the fog now. He is sending His angels to hold you steady. Archangel Michael is standing in the gap, fighting battles you didn't even know you were in. And your loved one, now clothed in eternity, is pleading for your protection with a love so fierce it has reached the throne of God. You may not realize how much has already been kept from you, how many traps never caught you, how many attacks never touched you, how many plans of the enemy were crushed before they ever reached your door. That was not luck. That was divine mercy. That was angelic warfare. That was the unshakable love of heaven surrounding you like a shield. But now the time has come for you to awaken fully. To stop drifting between surrender and survival. To stop giving your energy to people who take but never pour back. To stop staying in spaces that weaken your spirit and call it normal. You were created for more than just surviving. You were made to walk in freedom, in purpose, in divine joy. But you can't step into that if you're still holding hands with what God has already told you to release. This is your moment. This is your sign. That voice you keep hearing is real. That feeling that someone is with you, even though they've passed, is not your imagination. It is God answering the prayers of the one who never stopped loving you. It is heaven reaching through the veil to say, you're not alone. You've never been alone. And your life still matters more than you know. You may not feel strong right now. You may feel like you're barely holding on. But that's exactly why God is moving now. Because you're not meant to do this in your own strength. You were never meant to fight this alone. That's why angels are surrounding you. That's why peace is about to enter places in your soul that have felt empty for far too long. That's why clarity is coming where confusion has lived. That's why your spirit is being stirred right now even as you read this.